Hey guys, I'm Ashley, and welcome to my You versus You podcast. There's a little you and there's a big you. And this space is going to be all about unpacking what that means. We're going to be unraveling the identity that you think is you but might not actually be who you truly are. We're going to be talking about the healing that people find along the way, the supernatural, and everything in between. We're going to take you from the bottom, little you who's keeping you stuck with all of the negative programs and the limiting beliefs to help you rise back to the top, to big you, which is your limitless potential. We are all down here to serve the higher good. And let's just heal, get vulnerable, share our wins and our losses, and let's rise together. Thanks for being here, and I really hope you enjoyed the next episode. Excuse me. We're going to talk about the ego versus the higher self. Lowercase u means that's your ego, edging God out. And the more you can sit with that acronym, the more it actually is spot on. Because the more you are in your ego, is the farther away you are from God. Okay. It's the little you. It's Here's all of the names that I give ego that I have found through my own healing journey. Ego is the flesh. So if you're a Bible scholar, Bible person, religious person, we've heard about the flesh a lot. And basically, what they didn't tell us and teach us correctly in church is they didn't teach us that the flesh is what disconnects us from the spirit. Okay. So if you're like me, I'm 40, and nobody hammered home that our true nature is spiritual and not physical. The whole journey that I found myself on turned to energy instantly. And next episode, we actually do start talking about energy. We have a soul. Our soul is our true energy source. Okay. This fleshy body can like function on its own without ever finding your true energy source, your true nature, uh, which means you have to go on a journey to find out who you really are. Okay. That is a saying that did not make sense to me at all about 5 years ago, up until about 2 years ago. We have friends that battle addiction, and some of these friends have gone in and out of a rehab center. And one of the last ones, one of our last friends, he was big on talking about who are you? And I was like, well, I'm Ashley. And he's like, no, that's your name. Who are you? Oh, well, I'm a mom. Nope. That's not what you were when you got here. And it's just take the layer deeper, basically. A lot of people don't like to go past surface level, but once you get to a point where you want more out of life because it's just been slightly disappointing and not as maybe exciting as you once dreamt or thought it could be. And I urge you right now to really start to go on a soul journey if that describes you at all, because our soul is timeless, it's limitless. There's people that have gone years without eating to prove you don't need food to survive. Obviously, we don't preach that because we love protein, because we love muscles in this family. And that is where our message really differs from other people is everybody can talk about the temple, and maybe some people actually figure out that spiritual journey, but none of those people have taken care of their physical vessel. All right? Like it's mind, body, and spirit. Okay? Mind, take it out of the carnal, where we think this is ego. A carnal mind, when you're more ego-centric, ego driven or ego focused. Okay. Most people who are in their ego are fully material minded. So they've gotten completely wrapped up in this human journey, this human experience. Most of it's from trauma. Everyone's trauma is different. That is also what I found out on this journey was my trauma wasn't any more special than anybody else's, okay? And I also knew that, or it wasn't any worse than someone else's. It was pretty shitty. But at the same time, I was fairly successful up until the point of even realizing my true potential and that I was actually being held down by past beliefs and old karma and all the other jazz. But that was the moment that once I realized that everything was a lie in my physical realm, it was pretty easy for me to just be like, tell me more. Because for me and my story, I don't remember my abuse, but my body did. And when your body breaks down, the body is the physical representation of what's on the inside, which is more called the subconscious mind. Again, I don't want to get too far off track because that's what this whole podcast is about, is to slowly bring you guys to where I'm at. What I went through, I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can, but definitely talking a lot about energy from this moment forward. Get back to little you versus bigger you. So, little you is your ego, it's your flesh, it's this materially minded only. You only think that you're in this physical body. You don't actually realize that there's more to you. You only think that you're someone's daughter or someone's wife, or other, if you're a man, you're only a son, you're only a husband. Human ideas and human logic. When you're in your ego, you're just fully attached to all of your humanness. Huge thing I talk about in therapy sessions with my people, my energetic therapy, whatever you want to call it. Don't want to get in trouble, can't say the wrong words because I'm not a professional. Anyways, another tangent. You have to remember that when you came down here, you already had the conversation with God of why you were like, send me, I can do it. I can heal my family line, bloodline. I'm the one, blah, blah, blah. You had a mission that you signed up for, whether you remember it or not. That's the tricky part. But you left God's side and incarnated and was born as an infant. Okay? You already were programmed with everything you needed to know for this journey. You already spoke a language that you had a different type of eyesight, okay? Babies are perfect when they arrive. You should take all the lessons from a baby that you can. So here's how babies learn. Babies learn through energy, the unspoken language. So let's just say you're a parent with unresolved trauma in your body. So this body, this shell, is like an instrument. And I mean like a musical instrument when I say instrument, and it gives off a song. Whether you know it or not, your heartbeat gives off a frequency, a wavelength that lets other people know what your insides feel like. Some people I know who project, and I can feel their tension a quarter mile away. Done it on a walk before. And I'm like, whoa, I got to put my shield up and block their energy. And I know that is exactly what my energy used to feel like before I figured myself out. And it's wild. There's a whole language built on energy. So therefore, energy, the language of energy, you can't lie. You can't hold secrets because people instantly know because they can actually just read the energetic waves coming off of your body and know instantly whether you're a liar or not. So big surprise, they got rid of that language in the human realm and why we have so much chaos in this human form, we learn how to lie really well. We learn how to suppress emotions really well because we were probably told to from day one, even as a baby, how many moms have gotten lost their crap because their baby won't stop crying? Maybe if we had some matriarchs and patriarchs that actually taught us the language of energy and unconditional love, we might not have had a screaming baby as much as we did. So again, little you. It's the human you who forgot your God version. So little you get raised by your parents, could be good or bad. You get told no when things probably shouldn't be said no. You get judged on your appearance, hair, skin, and nails, teeth, whatever, right? All we're obsessed with down here in the human side is the flesh. Just anytime you're in little you, it's negative. For the most aspect, it's negative. You're feeling sorry for yourself. I call it the devil. Like literally, the devil is not outside of you. The devil is in every single human being until you no longer let him do devilish things inside of you. And come on, guys, devilish things does not only mean rape and murder and the huge gamut of nastiness. Lying and just saying, oh, sure, I'll go when you don't want to go, it's the same. Sin is sin to a different varying degree, yes, but a lie is a lie. And that's kind of what this podcast will be about too, is bringing your awareness more front and center to call yourself out on those lies versus not believing it's a lie. Baby steps. Little you, it's human nature, not God nature. That's the way I like to explain things because that's kind of our two sides. It's the angel or the devil on your side, on your shoulders. Well, those are my cartoons growing up. And that's literally what it comes down to. You've got to check the voice in your head. What's the voice in the head saying? If it's saying things that you don't agree with, nor would you say on a normal basis, especially on a good day, we all have bad days, we all have good days, then that's the little you, that's the devil, and you need to kick him out as fast as possible. So, whatever method that is that you need to develop to use that, begin it as soon as possible. That's a pretty good coverage of the little you for right now. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave them below. We're going to go over the big U, capital Y, capital O, capital U. So the big U is your higher self. Okay. It's your soul. Once you figure out that you have like a whole nother side to you and it's actually the better side, it's just been sitting in the background because of human will, because God doesn't force us to do the right thing. He lets us figure it out along the way. Behind the soul, behind this heart, inside your heart lives your higher self, your soul. Once you start to give your soul some more attention, that looks like looking at yourself and making eye contact with yourself in the mirror. That means saying things to yourself like, I love you, you are beautiful, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Like those four phrases, ho'oponopono, it heals everything. Okay. So like don't overthink it and just start saying those four phrases and life changes. But it's higher you is it's the one that's in control. It's the side of you that's directly connected to God through intuition, through knowing your bodily language, this instrument that trying to teach you how to tune and to play the songs and the frequencies that you want it to play for you. The higher you, the one in charge, the one that should be in charge, let me say, that's just been sitting in the background waiting for you to find them. And you probably haven't found yourself since you were a kid. Go back to the Bible and it says only those with a childlike spirit, I don't even know that's right, probably, but childlikeness will enter the kingdom of heaven. What that means is that you have to fall in love with yourself just like kids. Like, go back to your childlike spirit. Children, how many times have you heard someone go, oh, I wish I could just bottle up their energy and drink it? Okay. Yeah. Think about that one on a few different levels, but it's there for a reason, you guys. Most of the sayings that we say, they've been watered down and they mean more than you think they do. I know that we can all agree on children have amazing energy, and most of them are just full of love. And if they're not full of love, they learn that from you. Our children are your fruits, and they mimic. Humans, that is the only way we know how to live and survive, is we mimic the environment that grew us. So again, let that one roll around in your head for a little bit and think, oh, wow. I'm actually running on programs from ages 0 to 7, and my home environment really wasn't that spectacular. So just know, yes, you can change, and just do it. Knock out the negative, get rid of the shit talking voice. Most of them aren't you. It's probably someone else's energy attached to you because you also haven't been protecting yourself and you haven't been casting out energies that aren't yours and you haven't been putting up a shield. The Lord's Prayer, do it all for you, feed you, guide you, protect you. It's not hard, you guys. It's simple, but it's masked under the term discipline. If you don't guide your tower, your temple every single day, something else takes over. Like you literally have to be so in control of yourself that yes, you do talk to yourself. You don't have to talk to yourself out loud, but instead of letting these voices run rampant with shit talk and negativity, why not switch the script? Why not become the talker? Why not become the one that's actually, hey God, thank you so much for today. Or, hey God, could you maybe like help me know what move to make next is right? Or my favorite is bring it to me. Bring me whoever needs me. I'm no longer chasing anyone. That's how you also know that you're in your higher self. You don't chase, you attract. And if you're not attracting what you like, you got some work to do. You got some cleaning up to do. Like you got old patterns to find and heal and discard and let go of the past. I like to tell everybody Lot's wife, what happened to her when she looked back? Detach from the past, you guys. The past literally is only keeping you stuck. Higher you, big you, higher self. You're grounded and stable 24/7. There's no longer these emotions or chaos that come to throw you off. No more full moon craziness, none of that. Clear and conscious. So, what it means to be conscious is that you know exactly what you're doing all day, every day, and you could reiterate it to someone if they asked. You don't make false promises. You don't say, I'm going to come to that game if you literally have no intentions of going to the game, probably because your schedule is too busy. But since you're a people pleaser, instead of saying, I can't, I literally have no extra time in my life to even talk to my own children. And I wish I could make it to your game because you're so special to me, but I can't. And I don't want to say that I will if I can't. How much better is that, you guys? That's all that's called is honesty. All of us hiding behind our people pleaser facade. We think we're doing it better because we're not hurting someone else's feelings. Well, you're still hurting their feelings because the second you don't show up, you're a liar. And that's all there is to it. And that's all kids think about you is you lie. You just say what they need to hear in the moment so you don't hurt their feelings. But in the long run, it still happens. So I'm here to tell you to stop lying. Stop lying to yourself. Oh, I'm going to start that diet today. And then you don't. Just prove yourself to yourself. It's not that hard. You just got to shut the little you down. You got to shut well, my husband likes to call it the bitch, but it tends to ruffle some feathers. So I'll stick with little you, but it's the victim, guys. It's victim or victor. If you want to live on the black and white scale and you think there's only one way or another way, then go for victor. Victor versus victim. Okay? Huge switch right there. Call yourself out every single time you're trying to say it's not your fault. Tough one. Big U is a regulated nervous system all the time, just like at the beginning, guys, grounded and stable. Even in the midst of an accident that usually causes chaos and uncertainty and not clarity, you stay clear because you're just in the moment. There's no sense in getting worked up about things because getting worked up doesn't make it any better or any different in the moment. So mm, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth and just work on staying relaxed. To the moments that I would tell you to check in with your body. Are you squeezing it with a bunch of tension? Are you clenching your teeth? Are you clenching your butt? Clenching your pelvic floor? Clenching your fists? Like, just look at yourself. What do you feel like? Is there a lot of junk in there, or does it feel pretty peaceful? If you can actually understand what peace feels like on the inside of you, you'll be hooked for life. Yourself, there's no negative self-talk. That's how you know you're in your higher self is you're not shit talking yourself because there's no point. That was probably your parents or grandparents or pastor or teacher, some authoritative figure, man-made. Okay, just remember that all those people with all those nasty negative things to say are all humans. They don't know that you're a piece of God, nor are they treating you like that. All right, everybody is God. Everybody has a chunk of God in them. Some people just haven't found it yet. There's no worry, there's no fear. It's literally that reality that you have dreamt of, and it's fully possible, but you have to command it. You, big you, has to command it. Big you has to take over. Little you has to go in the back seat. One of my mentors saved my life. Thank God for her. I mean, one of these days I'm going to pay her back. She said, tell your ego to get out and tell it not to come back until you tell it to come back. Easier said than done, trust me, because you have patterns in you that you don't even realize are patterns. have your ego self take the back seat. Look at life from like a third person point of view. Like maybe you're up here on this curtain rod, right? This is where you're sitting and watching everything. Well, just FYI, guys, God sees everything that you've done in this life. So even if you have secrets that you think are hidden and never going to be found, the reason why you're carrying guilt, nonstop guilt, is because you haven't confessed it and you haven't forgiven yourself for it. The second you ask God forgiveness for forgiveness, He gave it to you. You didn't give it to yourself. Okay? Nobody can ascend or heal with negative self-doubt. Alignment or chaos is what I have written down. Those are also just two scales to measure life, daily life by. Does everything feel aligned? Is it running smooth? Is it flowing like water? Or is it a little chaotic? Is something not going the way that you thought it was going to go? What it means to be conscious and to become your higher self means that like you're conscious all day long. You're checking in with yourself and the situations at bay all day long. Do you want to understand what's going on? Ask for it. Ask for the wisdom, ask for the understanding, but you have to remember that you asked for it, okay? Because it might not come within 2 seconds. Sorry, TikTok mind people. They've been dumbing us down for a reason. Short attention spans, okay? You'll get to a point, you'll get so clear on this path that it will be instant gratification, but sometimes it takes 3 days. Sometimes it takes a week. Are you going to remember in 3 days or 7 days that answer you asked for? Or has your busy rabbit brain, hamster wheel brain, already gone down 100,000 more different paths since 7 days ago? Probably most of you. The easiest way to look at it is alignment versus chaos. And that will tell you everything you need to know of whether you are sitting in your higher self throne or if you're back down here in the muck. Resistance. Okay, so this one's tricky because so say something's kind of chaotic, but you're going after your goals, what you feel like was put onto your path. Some resistance is a test, and those ones you just need to use discernment with. Is it huge resistance? You should probably maybe take a step back, reevaluate the situation, and decide if you should continue moving forward. But if life is throwing you wrench after wrench after wrench, I highly suggest different options because life is not meant to be wrench after wrench after wrench. It's meant to be smooth and and enjoyable. So the second you chase a life that you enjoy, life will like enjoy you back. All right. If you love life, life loves you back. If you hate life, life hates you back. That's literally all it is. Law of attraction. What you think is what you get. Why the difference matters. And honestly, that kind of just goes back into being able to be aware of which you are in, which state you're in, and I would say it's flow versus stagnant. Alignment equals flow. So a river flowing, right? Unblocked, it flows naturally. Nothing hinders it. It goes around, whatever. It does its thing. Nobody even asks questions. It just does it. That is what life is supposed to be like. If you are on your path, you're going to get resistance. You're going to have human stuff happen, accidents, whatever. Stuff is going to happen along the way. But at the same time, you should be able to take a step back and be like, bro, that was just humanness coming in. Like, that's just the human experience. But you should be able to take a step back and be like, no, life is fine up until this moment, get past this moment, and then just stay aware. Do things go back to flow state? Or have they began to just be disrupted since then? So again, it's just a check-in because stagnant would be the other difference and why it matters. So if you're more of a goal-oriented person, then you want to be in alignment because you love to see flow and you love to see progression and you love to make it to the goal. So that would be the difference in trying to recognize which state you are in because if things start to get really stagnant and they don't move and they don't progress and they're not getting better, it's time to reevaluate because you have become misaligned at some moment for some reason. Did you have a fight with your spouse? Did you have a fight with your kids? How big of a control freak are you? There's just so many things, you guys. That's what this podcast is going to be all about. I am here to spread awareness of this human journey and to just let you know that it's okay and it's going to be okay. And the second you start putting and implementing this content into your life, it's going to be really okay because you're finally only going to work on loving yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can go read all of the philosophical text out there and it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. Is if your heart is broken, you can't you can't love anyone because you have no idea how to even love yourself. And that is the true pandemic of the world today, is that everyone's walking around with a broken heart. And most of them, maybe it's not that big of a deal, but the thing is that as a child, you were told no on things that were probably 100% part of your being and your path. And it's been disconnected for a long time because your soul left. Your soul left because it didn't feel safe. You guys, you have to find your soul. You need to call it back in, and you just need to start loving yourself more. Positive self-talk. In the beginning, it feels really yucky, and I remember that. I was just like, "Oh my gosh, everybody's going to be like, "Ah, you're so positive." I literally remember having this conversation in my brain because I knew it had to change. I knew I had been stuck in the muck for a long freaking time. God lifted off this heavy, heavy, heavy burden from my body, and I instantly felt joy. And from that moment on is when I knew things had to change. I had to be more joyful, even if I wasn't feeling it. I had to be more positive, even if I wasn't feeling it. And you want to know what happened? I'm going to leave this on here too, because I want you guys to know this. What happened when I started that, even though I knew some people were going to be like, this is toxic, gross. Why is she so happy? Why is she so cheerful all the time? It literally changes your algorithm. My whole Facebook, my whole social media algorithm changed once I started to talk positive, once I started to chase these signs and synchronicities of an unspoken language because I knew better. Because my intuition was like, hey, I sent you this article. Or, oh, hey, here's a number for you. Look it up, see what it means. There's an unspoken language out there, you guys, and it's not English or German or French or whatever. Like, do you see how many labels the humans have made for themselves? And do you see them ever coming together if we think our humanness is the most important aspect of ourselves? Nope. That all that stuff was created and pushed to divide and conquer. And again, that's how exactly what happens on the inside of you is if you let the devil come in, he divides you from your higher self, and he'll exploit all of your weaknesses and make you believe that you're not worthy and that you should live in shame and whatever all the others preach of your nothingness. We are nothing. Grand scheme of things, we're this tiny little speck of dust in the universe. But at the same time, you all have a piece of God inside of you. And like, what can you do with that? It's all about love, and it's all about unconditional love, agape love. And the more you start chasing that, the more you stop judging someone by their teeth, their skin, their hair, their tattoos, their appearance, just the better life gets because you've got to start detaching yourself from the physical realm for now and just start thinking more on a spiritual level because we're gonna tackle that spiritual level first in this podcast, but at the same time I'm gonna bring it back down into all three because I totally understand why people go off on the spiritual tangents and their tarot cards and all of their stuff because we like to perform. We've been taught to perform. We have a voice, we have a throat chakra. So yeah, come and be whoever you're supposed to be. But at the same time, I did not walk away from religion. Religion walked away from me, but I also knew that's not what it's about. It's about an intimate relationship with yourself because the kingdom is within. Go check your Bibles because I know it says that in quite a few chapters. See you next time. Hey guys, so I really hope that you enjoyed that episode, and I can't wait for you to keep diving in to more of what this little you versus big you journey is all about. You're going to find all kinds of topics in a slow drip process here about consciousness, about healing, about energy, and everything in between. The episodes that are going to be in this podcast are going to blow your mind, but it is going to be a slow drip information type of process. And if you have already been on a healing journey and you need more clarity and more answers, don't hesitate to book a one-to-one session. They're open now, and my link is below. And I would love to work with you one-on-one because it's just me and you, and it's private, and you can get clarity faster. But if you're not in a hurry, welcome. This podcast is going to be awesome, and you're going to find so many answers to help turn your life around for the better. Become the author of your life. Write the script, see what happens.